So we're on another adventure today. There's thunderstorms and rain and all sorts forecast for today.
The norm,
yeah. So we've come out in search of some limestone pavement in Yorkshire again. But so far we've just got whiteout skies. So we're driving around looking at maybe changing our plans a little bit, which is fine. Yesterday we was in the Lake District, believe it or not, feeding llamas at the Lake District distillery.
Come on, hello, little one.
And they make their own gin, whiskey and vodka. So yeah, we had a really nice day yesterday and we're out again today. What a fabulous weekend. Hello, so we're back in Yorkshire. Today we've come out to visit Hawdraw Force Waterfall. I think that's how you pronounce it anyway. It's not far from Ingleton. It's in a place called Howes. I think that's how you pronounce that as well. So today we had a mixture of plans because there's a storm forecast today and we were hoping for big foreboding skies, really dark, moody skies, but what we've got, as per usual, is a bit of a whiteout. There was some cloud definition, but the light wasn't very good, so we've changed our mind and we can't resist a waterfall, so we've got another visit and it's beautiful, really, really nice. You park just behind, is it the Green Dragon pub?
Yeah.
And just walk up, there's a little tea room that you pay £2.50 because it's on private land, and just walk down and it's beautiful. So we're going to go and find the waterfall and hope that the rain doesn't start before we get there, and we'll see you once we're set up. Look at this, I am so giddy. Can't wait to get down there. I think we're going to need to be on the other side to get the best viewpoint, but wow. So we've been over this bridge once, but it sort of looking at the waterfall and the viewpoint and the angle that I want to photograph the waterfall from, we need to come back over the bridge, and so it's better to be on the right hand side because you can actually get down and get there looks to be a flat rock that I can set the tripod up on. So yeah, we'll see you in a bit. So I've got my camera set up, pointing at the waterfall. There's a series of mini waterfalls that are just cascading down below the magnificent waterfall. It is so slippy. I've already been on my backside and where I'm sat, the rock is really slippy as well, so I've got my tripod in a real precarious position, and I've taken a couple of images already here. Again, I've sort of experimented with the shutter speed, and I've took a couple at 2 or 3 seconds. I've done one around 1 minute and 30, and I've also done some around 1.6 of a second as well, just to try and capture some of the movement. It's just beautiful. I absolutely can't resist a waterfall, and I'm hoping so much that you can hear me. I know I always say that, but we always end up near the water. I'm going to move around in a second and try a couple of different compositions. I'd really want to be in the water so that I can get the movement of the water coming in front of the camera. But as per usual, I haven't brought my wellies. Need to remember to bring the wellies. So I am actually now in the water. Made my way across on a few rocks, and this is the setup, and I've got to say that the composition is far better. So I don't know if you can see, but I'm focusing on this rock here and focusing all the way back onto the waterfall. Again, trying to get some sharpness from front to back. But yeah, really, really happy so far. It's beautiful. We're actually behind the waterfall. How cool is that? So we've had a really lovely time. We've been under the waterfall, in the waterfall, behind the waterfall. I've took some really different compositions that I wouldn't usually take, but it's worth experimenting when you come out. You can come away with maybe 2 or 3 more images than you expected to. But yeah, I'm absolutely covered in mud. My rucksack's covered in mud, my boots, my pants. I've been wet through my boots, but we've had a lovely day, really lovely day. Definitely need to come back with some wellies. And maybe another visit in autumn as well. But yeah, nice day. We actually wasn't going to come out today because the weather was forecast so bad, and usually I wouldn't come out on a day like that. I either want dramatic skies or sunrise, sunset. But with sunrise and sunset, the difficulty is you've got to have a sunrise. And I know that sounds stupid because the sun rises and the sun sets every day. But the sunrise and the sunset is dependent on the cloud. You've got to have cloud, high cloud usually, to have a good sunset. So it's not always guaranteed. The good thing about waterfalls is on an overcast day when you've got whiteout skies, it's perfect because you don't get any harsh shadows. So sometimes, depending on what time of day it is, you can get a waterfall like this one that's half in shade and half in bright sunlight, and it can make it quite difficult to get a balanced image, and sometimes the shadow and bright areas isn't always pleasing. So although we've done another waterfall video, I am massively drawn to waterfalls. I think it's just that you can capture that movement in the water, and you know, I suppose dependent on what's in your foreground, it can really create some interesting images. So a little tip is to try and create some foreground interest. So whether that be rocks in the water, whether that be broken trees in the water, it doesn't matter really. I always try to anyway, where I can get an interesting foreground, an interesting midground, and you know, something in the background. And usually they make for good images. That's not always the case, and it depends what you're taking an image of. But But with the water, I know I've mentioned in a previous video about experimenting with shutter speed and long shutter speeds and shorter long shutter speeds, but it does create a big difference in the water. With an exposure of maybe anywhere between 10 seconds up to a minute or 2 minutes, you do really get that milkiness, and that's lovely. But what that does is you don't capture any detail in the water. So if you use a shutter speed of maybe 1.6 of a second, although you still get that movement in the water, you can still see the detail in the water as well. So what I'll do is I'll put some of the images up. Hopefully you'll like them, and hopefully on our next adventure it'll be something a bit different. We've got lots and lots and lots of trips in mind, planned. We just need the weather and the right conditions. But if you don't get the right conditions, don't worry about it. Just try and find somewhere else to go with your camera, like we have done today. So we've had a really nice day today again. Can't wait to go out on our next adventure. But when we do go on our next adventure, we'll see you again. Adios. Adios.